Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Fan Wire podcast. This is your host, Delano. We're going to be talking about University of Maryland women's basketball today. We had the pleasure of being in the building for the University of Maryland versus Rutgers basketball game last Thursday. So this is a little far behind the game, but we're going to give you a breakdown of what we noticed, what we saw, what we experienced. We had a great time at the game. We had a fantastic. They had a fantastic crowd. The crowd was super into it. It was a pleasure to be in the building. Maryland got the victory, 78-61. It probably should have been a little bit more out of reach score-wise. But if you saw the game or if you was at the game, you know what happened. Maryland is currently number 8 in the national rankings. They're 13-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten. Rutgers is also in the Big Ten. They're currently 8-6 with no conference wins. This was a great matchup between Cheyenne Sellers and Kiyomi McMiller. Cheyenne Sellers is a star player for the University of Maryland Terps women's basketball team. And Kiyomi McMiller is a local product. It's a DMV product, straight out of Silver Spring. She had a phenomenal first half of the game. We'll talk more about that a little later. They brought out the people. It was over almost 5,500 people in attendance live at the game. But more about what happened during the game. The Lady Terps, they look good. They look really, really good. They play efficient basketball. And Cheyenne Sellers, Miss Sellers, she played like Miss Sellers today. On Thursday. She was super efficient. She got to her spots, whether if it was 3-point range, mid-range, around the hoop. She was super efficient. No wasted moves. She did her thing. Cheyenne dropped 22 points. 22 points on 7 of 13 shooting. She also had 8 rebounds and 3 assists. Super efficient. Super efficient. I love her game. She's WNBA ready. And this is not just air quotes. She is ready. She is ready. She's 6'2". She reminds me, her game, if I can say it, equivalent of somebody that a lot of people know, Paige Buckner. The Washington Mystics need to draft her. But we'll talk about that another day. Let's talk more about these Lady Terps. This Maryland Terps women's basketball team. They crushed it. Kayleen Schmeichel dropped 13 points, had 4 rebounds, 5 steals. The defense was on fire. I will say this. Kiyomi McMiller was their primary ball handler, bringing the ball up the court. She did well in getting offense started. But when she went out the game in the second half, they struggled to get the ball up the court. They need to definitely add more guards this coming season. But that's another story for another day. talk more about these Maryland Terps because we talk about DMV basketball, whether you're professional, college, local. We talk about DMV basketball along with football and other sports. But when it comes to uh, the game, the Maryland Terps put the clamps on Rutgers. They really did their thing. Regarding the production from Rutgers, Kiyomi McMiller had 14 points, um, 4-13 shooting. She was 3 of 9 for 3-pointers. She was pretty electric in the first half. She was definitely play dynamic. However, closer to the end of the second quarter, she began to rack up turnovers. She ended up with 7 turnovers, but she had a great game. Even still, 14 points, 5 rebounds, and this is all in the first half because she didn't play the second half. I'm not sure the reason. It could be, while we were sitting there trying to figure it out just in our heads. Was like, did she get injured? Did she sick? What is the reason why she's on the bench? Because she ended up hitting a last second shot in the first half. Brought the ball down the court, shot it, 3-pointer. Looked like Steph Curry. Looked like any of these superstar shooters. But I'm not sure, what happened at halftime or what happened. I believe she played a couple minutes in the third quarter, and then she sat the rest of the game. The rest of the game. We couldn't figure it out because it wasn't nothing that looked obvious to the eye. So with that being said, Rutgers struggled to initiate the offense. They had one other guard that was able to bring the ball up and do her thing, but they need more to be able to compete. Destiny Adams, she played hard. She had a great game, 15 points, 9 rebounds. She's tough. I like her game. She's tough. She got in foul trouble early. Some of the calls were questionable. I have to admit, I'm a straight shooter and fair shooter. Some of those calls were questionable. She was playing hard, and you could tell she was physically, mentally frustrated. So she probably could have had an even better game, just like with Kiyomi. If she played the second half, they could have probably had a better game. But in that third quarter, University of Maryland put it out of reach. Actually, second quarter, it got out of reach because Rutgers only scored 9 points in the second quarter, while Maryland scored 21 points. So it was out of reach at that point. They needed JoJo Lacey, Destiny Adams, or Rutgers needed JoJo Lacey, Destiny Adams, Kiyomi McMiller to have a phenomenal second half to even keep it close. Because the Maryland Terps, they were on fire. They were getting it done. They shot 34% from the field, but when you're watching the game live, it looked like they was hitting every shot, or majority of their shots. Shot great percentage from the free throw line, 84% as a team. They did their thing. But when it comes to their upcoming matchups, for example, they have to play USC very soon here. on the 9th. That game is going to really test who this squad is. But they're currently 13-0. They've played some good teams. They played Michigan State, got them out of the way. So if the University of Maryland women's basketball team is able to beat USC, they're going to at least go to number 4 in the ranking, at least. And if they beat and if they continue this trajectory and end up beating UCLA, because they should be playing them on the 29th of January, if they're able to beat them, number 1 in the country, without a doubt. Number 1. And I'm really excited to see what the University of Maryland's going to do. And then we haven't even talked about what this tournament's going to be like. This tournament is going to be probably, it might even be better than the whole March Madness, because you got so many top flight teams in the Big Ten. And maybe I'm just gaslighting just a little bit, but it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. So we look forward to what's going on with women's basketball and women's basketball at the University of Maryland, because these Terps are for real. They are strapping up on defense. They got great actions and plays, well coached. They got a star in the making, a star that maybe is going under the radar. But Cheyenne Sellers, your game is true. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep pressing. I understand that, you're not a selfish ball player, but sometimes you gotta be. So when those moments occur, I'm looking for you to take over. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. And then Kiyomi McMiller from the Rutgers, she's a local product. And I'm a fan of her game. She is going to be top flight in a couple years. She just got to, she has to add the efficiency to her game with the highlight package that she got. Know when to use it, when not to use it. Because when you use it, you put everybody on skates. You give everybody a problem.